Hey, baseball fans, my name is Dave from the Frontier League Journal, and today we have the manager of the Southern Illinois Miners, Mike Pinto. Mike, how are you?
I'm great. Thanks for having me, Dave. Great. Love the work you're doing with the Journal. Love it.
Thank you. I'll make the wire transferred right after. I wanted to talk to you, and thanks for being here, man. Okay, yesterday, so we are Saturday. Yesterday, you sent out a tweet that I think we need to talk about because from what we've talked about before the interview, it shed some light. Okay, so you sent out a tweet that asked for a strike thrower, a pro pitcher that you need right now. And some of the tweets that were, some of the retweets from your tweets mentioned, wow, I never thought I'd see this. So I was the state of baseball. So I understand their perspective, and I will be honest, this is exactly what I thought. I thought that was a tweet on the state of baseball. It's changed a lot. We are in a new era. But from talking to you, and I'm happy that we're doing this right now, this is not at all what it is.
No, it's not.
Okay.
I'm not making a statement of where baseball is right now. First of all, I've always been a brand or marketing guy. And ultimately, my job is to bring the very best players in the Southern Illinois that I possibly can. And I'm very fortunate in that having done this a lot of years, I've spoken at a number of baseball coaching clinics, and I have a lot of coaches, a lot of college coaches that follow what I put on Twitter. And so for me, this was the very quickest way to get a message to all of them that we are looking for a pitcher right now. We have an immediate need. Now, part of that was when we were on the road last week. While we were on the road, we had our closer, Kyle Hinton, taken by the Washington Nationals.
Mm-hmm.
That put us at, all of a sudden, now we're short pitching. And then, unfortunately, we had a situation, and I wasn't really going to make a public thing of it. And I had not at that point told my players at the time we've done the tweet. But one of our players' wives got into a serious car accident, and he needed to leave the team immediately and head home and care for his wife, be there for his family and his daughter. And so with that, I knew we were going to have an immediate need to fill that. We're going on the road on Monday for 7 games in 7 days. So with that, I don't have an off day in which to find somebody on Monday. So for me, it was, let's just get it out there. And I from that got a boatload of really, really high quality. I mean, my email was filled last night with emails from players. Some really good, some, hey, I played middle infield, but I can pitch too. I got some of those.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah. But what I was looking for was a guy who could pitch at the professional level and has a reputation of throwing strikes. I'm not really right now in the position of looking for projects, guys who throw 95 but don't know where the strike zone is. Not really looking for that right now. And so again, I've done this in the past. I've done this traditionally right after the draft, to get the note out to all the guys that I know that, hey, do you know of anybody who got missed in the draft? And from that, I've gotten a lot of very good leads. We've signed some very good players in the last few years out of a simple tweet.
Nice. Okay, so perfect. So how is the dynamic right now in finding players? Because as I mentioned, we are in a new era of baseball. There are less rounds in the amateur draft, so more people are available to you. There are less teams in organized baseball to house those players. And there seems to be a lot of transactions. So obviously, and major league teams are getting their players from indie or partner ball.
Right.
How do you like that dynamic? Do you like what's happening right now?
Well, first of all, I think it's a weird time right now. First of all, they reduced the draft down to 20 rounds. And a lot of players, you might think, well, there's a lot of players out there because less rounds. But there are also a lot of advisors telling their players, don't sign till after the draft.
Oh.
After the draft happens, we're going to be bombarded And frankly, so I was talking to an outfielder. He's a 24-year-old senior player. He's 24 years old, outfielder.
Yeah.
And his agent advised him that he should wait till after the draft.
Wow.
By then, I won't have a need for him.
Uh-huh.
And so there's a lot of that kind of going on right now. There's a lot of guys waiting and hoping for the draft. And after that, there's gonna be a boatload of players out there. But right now, I think it's really a challenge to find really good, especially arms right now. There have not been very many releases. Major League Baseball really hasn't released a lot of guys unless they've been injured.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got to look every place we can. You've got to lift up every rock and see what's out there. Because someplace out there's a kid that got missed. There's a kid that really wants to play and has the ability to play. And that was certainly proven in my emails last night.
I'm a perfectionist, and I obsess about little things like the Frontier League. Are you afraid when you get all those emails that you'll miss someone? You know what I mean? Like that guy that, God damn it, it could have been my Hayes.
Yes, sure. But I have limited information to look at. It's sort of like when we have like these one-day workouts.
Yeah.
You make mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
You're seeing 10 pitches. You're seeing a guy swing, get 3 at bats, and you're making a decision based on that. Mm-hmm. We're going to be right. We're going to be wrong. We're going to see a guy really make contact and go, wow, I like the way that kid swings a bat. And 2 weeks later, he's hitting 110, and you're going, oh, what was I thinking? Mm-hmm. Or the guy that you saw on the mound, and he just that day, we don't know he threw 2 days before. We just knew he knew there was a workout and he wanted to go to it, and we didn't see his best. Mm-hmm. I usually do find, though, that history doesn't lie too much. For me, I like strike throwers. If you've traditionally walked a lot of guys, you're not going to miraculously find a way to throw strikes. And if you're a guy who's never walked anybody, you're probably not going to walk anybody when you get into pro ball either. Mm-hmm. And I think the same thing applies to hitters. If you've got a hitter that traditionally strikes out a lot, what makes me think I'm so good, or our staff is so good, that we're going to change this guy and teach him to have some plate discipline? But I've also found that guys that showed plate discipline in college usually show plate discipline when they come into pro ball. Okay. Usually. And then we're wrong.
And when you open the email with your pitching coach, what's the name of your pitching coach again?
Eric Minshaw.
Okay, perfect. There are so many. Okay, so you and Eric, you open up the email. Are there some numbers that you're looking for? Obviously, like base on balls, strikes, but do you like link 92 miles per hour and 2.5 BB per 9, and you say, okay, historically, we've been very lucky with those kind of pitchers. Is there something that you see that you usually rely on?
Yes, and I've kind of had my own personal model as to what I'm looking for. Now, fortunately, today we also have the capability. I not only, as I got these last night, I not only got numbers, I had video. I mean, these guys send videos of them pitching. Some in bullpens and in games. I get a chance to see what an inning. One guy sent, I had a chance to see what his inning looked like on the mound. That helps. Now, when a guy also sends his Rapsoda data, well, that gives me even more information. So the more information I can have, the better. And I guess if I were to give advice to anybody who's hoping to get a job in independent ball, it's, if you're sending stuff to a manager, make my job easy. Send me a link to your baseball reference or your baseball cube or your college page. Send me the name of scouts that have seen you pitch. Send me names of your college coach and how I can reach him. Mm-hmm. Send me video. Send me Rapsoda data. The more information I have, I can easily look and see if you're a fit. If you send me nothing but, oh, I really have always wanted to be a professional baseball pitcher, I'm going to respond out of courtesy, but I'm probably going to send him a copy of the link to the Baseball America article that J.J. Cooper did, where he interviewed a number of us about what's it take?
Mhm.
Um, you sending me an email that tells me how much you love the game and how passionate and how hard you work, that's a given for me.
Mhm.
That's a given. So I really need all the information so I can look at players.
Perfect. So that's pretty much it about the tweet that you sent yesterday, and I'm happy that you cleared that out for me. And I think a few people, because that was not a bad tweet, not at all. I think the perception was it was either very good or just, oh no, what's happening in the baseball? Oh no. So, so I only have 55 questions left. Are you ready, Mike?
Fire away, let's roll.
Okay, perfect. So Chase Cunningham was amazing in his last start. Almost a no-hitter. Very jealous of Michael Austin. He wanted to do the same thing, but now he's on the IL. What's happening there?
Um, Chase just got married, and so
That's the IL.
yeah, so he's getting a well-deserved week with his wife, and then he will rejoin us.
Okay, perfect. Craig Massey. Craig Massey was he was injured. He's obviously your coach and your player too. He was a DH for a few games. Is he okay right now?
Yeah, you know what? We're really kind of going through both him and with Gianfranco Wawu, the getting them back into baseball shape.
Mhm.
They both went through extensive physical therapy and all that. Both had groin injuries and have gone through extensive work to do that. But that's different than playing baseball every day.
Mhm.
So we're trying to kind of ease them into this process. We started the game last night, fell behind quite a bit, and there's no sense leaving Craig out there in that situation. And then late in the ball game, the same thing. I pulled Gianfranco Wawu and used Ryan Stacy there to kind of just get him off his legs. They've been standing a long time. We gave up a bunch of runs last night,
Yeah.
and so with that, I really wanted to give them a little bit break off their body.
What a great name. Wahoo. I love it. Wahoo.
You'd love him too. He is one of the nicest players in this game, nicest human beings and people.
Well, when you get to the clubhouse later today, just tell him that you've had the best interview ever. I mean, the guy is just the sweetest. So you have to do the interview with Dave.
Okay.
But would it be fair to say that you haven't gotten into a flow right now? Because the team, you've had some very, very tough losses, but very, very happy wins where you come from behind. You always seem to be coming from behind. How how is that playing with the players on a day-to-day basis? Are they tired of this in a way? You know what I mean? Just getting into a flow would be good.
Well, if they're tired of it, they could take care of that.
Okay.
Um, you know, we could put a beating on somebody instead of having to come from behind.
Yeah.
But sometimes you have ebbs and flows of your season,
Mhm.
and we especially started early with losing Massey, losing Wawu, losing Jared Watkins. Those were guys that they were going to be part of our plans. And then unfortunately, we're still waiting on the visas for Arturo Nieto, our catcher, and Brian Flatte, who will be one of our very best hitters and maybe one of the best in the league when he comes back. So we've been missing them. We're hopeful that this week those visas will come through. All good signs, and hopefully get them back with us as well. Then your lineup lengthens. We went through a long period of time where we were playing with 6 or 7 rookies in the lineup, and
Yeah.
that's not really how we built this.
Mhm.
But sometimes that's the way the game's played, and you still have to play the games. And along the way, some of the rookies have learned how to play the game a little bit better because they
Mhm.
were forced to have to play the game.
And in the long run, I mean, from now until the end of the year, it could be paying off for you. I mean, a guy like Ian Walters, what a great find. I mean, I love this guy. Great swing too. What's your take on him?
Yeah, again, it was one of those emergency situations. We've
Yeah.
got Jared Watkins went down, Wawu went down, Massey went down, and it's okay, now what? And fortunately, right here in town, we happen to have Southern Illinois University. Ian lives, his family is not too far from where we are. And so that was a natural jump. And then the minute he stepped on the field, he looked like he belonged here.
Mm. And what a nice story too. I mean, Nick Neville and him on the left side for a double header. I mean, I had goosebumps just thinking about this. I think you had a big media attendance for that game. Is that right?
Yeah, we really did. Well, especially SIU, all the local news outlets covered SIU, and so it was really a good moment. And um, Ian was able to get a first hit right away,
Mhm.
and then a couple of days later, Nick was able to hit a home run. Unfortunately, Nick kind of after about a week or 10 days into baseball said, "I thought I wanted to be a professional baseball player, but I think I'm going to move on to the next phase of my life."
Yeah, it's weird too. I mean, I did not think. I mean, he had 17 home runs during the college season. 17 home runs. I mean, maybe he had too much in college, and there was nothing left for the pro ball. I don't know, man, but it was.
And that does happen sometimes.
Yeah.
What we never know is what is going on in their hearts and minds and soul. We don't know that, and I really have tried to personalize my relationship with players over the years. I think it's really important because they are not just a name, they are not just a number, they're not just a thing we're putting on a lineup card. There are things that go on in their lives on a daily basis. And the more I know about who they are as people, I can put them in best situations to have success. Um, yeah, and I long ago simplified my life and said, if I'm going to do this, if I'm going to spend 4 months, I'm going to be with guys I like. And so I really like this group of guys. We have a wonderful clubhouse, and they have a lot of fun, and they're figuring out how to win. And we'll go back at it tonight.
Would it be fair to say that these young guys, those college players, with maybe not as much ego as some of the professionals or the drafted players, they keep your fire burning because you want to introduce them to pro ball the right way?
Actually, rookies drive me crazy.
Okay.
Such an education process. Yeah, yeah. It's kind of, in all honesty, I have a dog at home named Rookie, and when he was a puppy, he kind of fit into that mold of sometimes I really loved him, and sometimes I wanted to strangle him. And so that name fit how I feel about rookies because it's such a learning curve, and there are so many things that you think that they would have learned in college, and they get here, and you go, how do you not know that? So our pitcher just threw 35 pitches in the inning, and you go up and you swing at the first pitch and pop the ball up on the infield. I want to strangle you when you get back to the top. How have you not learned that before now?
I love this. Okay. You have a very, I will say, favorable schedule ahead of you. I mean, Gateway, they're having trouble right now. They're a good team, but they're not winning. You have a favorable schedule ahead of you in the next 2 or 3 weeks. How do you see that going forward? Do you like your chances right now with the way things are going, the visas, Chase coming off the IL?
Yeah. Yeah. Anytime you're writing name Chase Cunningham in the bottom, you've got a pretty good chance to win a game. But we've got a bunch of guys we really like. There were some things going on. We've had a couple guys that have been sick, and they won't make the excuse. I won't name their names because I don't want to put them in that situation. But there are some guys that were physically ill, on antibiotics, going, "Hey, I know we don't have an arm. I'll take the ball and I'll do the best I can." And so I know healthy, every night to get the 5 guys I write in, I have a chance to win. That's what I ask out of starting pitchers. I don't ask for a win. Just give us keep us in the ball game and give us a chance to do that. As Craig and Gianfranco are able to see more pitches, um, they lengthen our order. And if we're fortunate enough here shortly to get Arturo and Brian Flotte and Watkins back, all of a sudden, we can score some runs. And maybe I'm not every night waiting to see how this one-run ball game turns out.
Exactly. And the tweets will change, or they just won't happen.
Or not. Or not. I may have a need, and right after the draft. I mean, I'll guarantee you, after the draft, there'll be another one. You didn't follow us as much, a couple years ago.
Yeah, exactly.
So you wouldn't have seen that This
Exactly.
is not the first time I've done this, and it's not out of an act of desperation by any means. We have a lot of names on the board, but I want the best name, and I want the best name who can help me now. You know, we talked to a guy the other day, and he's, well, I haven't picked up a ball in 3 weeks. Okay, well, you can't help me now. You may be really good, but you can't help us right now.
Okay, Mike, you're always so honest. I love your attitude. This is the second time I've had the chance to talk to you, and let's keep in touch during the season. You're different, and I like it.
Oh, well, anytime. Call anytime. Appreciate the time, Dave.
I appreciate your time. Have a great night tonight.
Thanks. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.